Namaste, my dear children. How are you all today? Are you well enough? Very good. I hope you all are fine there and hoping that you all are ready for your English class. Children, today I am going to address the students for grade 3. Grade 3 students, get ready for today's classroom that we are going to learn one very interesting story. Oh, it's very interesting enough. Everybody likes a story. So, children, before maintaining our activities or before going towards our activities, let me remind some of the pattern, some of the phases that we are going to do in today's session. Firstly, regarding the same class or same topic, we are going to have picture discussion. Very colorful pictures also to you, and then after you need to manage the story from that picture. Then after, we will also go for the vocabulary sections. Remember children, if we are going to read something, firstly knowing the pronunciation of the words, sometimes going for spelling and meaning of the words is the most, so that we can understand anything else easily. So, vocabulary sections will be the second part of our class today, and then after children, we will be going for finding the story, how was it. Firstly, and then after you will be reading the story from slide. Then after we will also do some of the activities like that of question answers and fill in the blanks. And finally we will also go for reviewing all the activities along with the today's session. So children, if you are ready with your stationery materials, books, notebooks, pencil, eraser, sharpener, then hurriedly we'll go for today's class. So, let me provide you the pictures. You can have a look on the slide today, and then after try to find out what had happened in the picture. The first picture, you can see a man trying to cut the tree, and then after the tree was being cut, but at the same time his axe fell down from backwards. Then in the second story, second picture, you can see someone came out from the river. The axe fell into the river, and from there, from the river, one of the water god came to him. Then water god was talking to the man itself. You can see the water god giving yellow colored axe to the man. Might be that was made up of gold. Then in the last picture, you also can see children, there are 3 different axes given to the man by the water god. So now let us try to storm our brain. What could be the situation in serial order to make the story? Okay, before that we will just go for some of the words, and then after only we will go for finding the compiled form of the story. If you are ready, please try to note down those keywords as well as you need to speak along with your parents. The first word you can get there. You can have a look in the slide as well. The first word is firewood. You have heard a lot about firewood. Firewood simply means the log or the wood that can be used for burning fire. You might have listened the sentence as well. We can get firewood from the forest. The woods which we can use for burning fire. The next one is there. The dear children, it's also the common word that we can get in the text today, axe. It's one of the tools which can be used by woodcutter to cut the wood or to cut the trees. You also have seen the picture of an axe in the first phase of our session where the woodcutter was cutting the trees. The water god came with the gold axe and the woodcutter had got 3 different axes from the water god. After that, the third word you can check out there in the slide itself. The third word is dropped. Dropped simply gives the meaning of left. When we leave something knowingly, intentionally, that is what we call dropped. If I say the sentence of dropped, then what would I have said to you? I have dropped my pen on the way. That is, the meaning of dropped is to left, the past form of leave. The next one is children, we have in number 4, honesty. Honesty simply means the state of being honest. No cheating at all, not deceiving at all to anybody else. If I have to give you the example in the sentence, then what would I say here is the woodcutter is very honest. The woodcutter did not try to cheat anybody else. By its own effort, by his own effort only, he could get the things for his survival. So, that is what we can get the use of honest in the sentence. Then, the next one word we have got, this is at last but not the least, there are many words that we can check it out in the story, but we are taking the keywords which could easily unlock the story, which could make us easier to understand. The last word is regretting. Regretting means self-realization of something after making mistakes. Like for example, children, if I say something wrong to you without your mistakes, then I could obviously have to realize it. I should not say anything to you. But if I say unknowingly, then I need to realize. So at that time, the word regret or regretting can be used. I am still regretting for my mistakes that I have scolded to you today. So, I am still regretting on my mistakes. That is what we can say regret by its meaning and at the time of using it in a sentence. Now, the dear children, let me go for the gist of the story.
Alan adopted several children and raised them to become honest and kind citizens, thus making sure that the world is a better place to live in.
Okay, dear children, this is all about the story of the woodcutter. So now, without any delay, we will just be going for our reading exercise. It's for you only. It's not for me. And now, you need to read the story taking the help from the slide. Do you want to read the story? Very hurriedly we have to read out. Is it alright? There lived a woodcutter. He used to go to the forest for firewood. He had a large family. He had only one axe to cut firewood. One day, the woodcutter climbed up a tree beside a river. While cutting wood, his axe fell into the deep river. He came down and searched his axe, but could not find it. He sat on a stone beside the river and wept bitterly. Then now, the next slide you can see there, hearing him crying, the water god came out and asked him why was he crying so bitterly. The woodcutter told the water god what had happened. The water god dived into the river and came out with a golden axe and asked, "Is this your axe?" The woodcutter said, "No, this is not my axe." The water god dived again and came out with a silver axe. The water god again told him that it was not his axe. Now you can check the next part of the story. The water god again dived and came out with an iron axe. Seeing the axe, the woodcutter smiled and said, "Oh God, it's my axe. Please kindly give me my axe." The water god was so pleased with the honesty of the woodcutter that he dived and brought the gold, silver and iron axes and gave them to the woodcutter. The woodcutter thanked the water god and went back home with wood and 3 axes. He told all this to his neighbors and the villagers. There lived a greedy neighbor near his house. He planned to go to the river and find a gold axe like the woodcutter. He could not sleep the whole night. He was waiting for the morning. In the morning, he went with his new and heavy axe and climbed up a tree. He started cutting the wood and intentionally dropped his axe into the river. He came down and started to cry. Hearing him crying, the water god came out and asked what happened. Now let's see the next part. The greedy man told him that his axe had fallen into the river. The water god dived into the river and came out with a gold axe and asked him, "Is this your axe?" The greedy man smiled and said, "Yes, God, it's my axe." The god was so angry with his dishonesty. He dived with the gold axe and did not come back. Now the next part you can see, children. The greedy man had come there without eating anything to get gold axe. So he was hungry. Losing his hope to get gold axe, he returned back regretting on his stupidity. So this is all about the story of the woodcutter, that is, who is very honest. And now the moral also you can see, that is, honesty is the best policy, but greed always leads towards the loss. We can lose so many things. Our one also we can lose if we are greedy, if we are stupid. Now dear children, very hurriedly we are going to complete some of the exercises of today's story. As per our plan, we will just go for finding the question answers at first. Very few question answers we are providing to you, and that also we will be having very short answers. So now check the first questions from the slide. It's how was the woodcutter? The first woodcutter we were talking about, because the next person, the second person, was not the real woodcutter. So how was the woodcutter? The woodcutter was very honest. The next questions to you, please try to make a note of those all the things whatever we have discussed today. The second questions for you babies, why did the woodcutter cry? The first woodcutter we were talking about, the woodcutter was crying, or the woodcutter cried because his axe fell into the river. The next questions for you babies, this is in number 3. Do you think the woodcutter was honest? Yes, obviously we think the woodcutter was honest. The next questions for you, this is at last but not the least, we are getting the gist of today's story. So, which was the first axe shown to the greedy neighbor by the water god? Was it silver eggs? Was it iron eggs? No, it's obviously gold eggs was sown in the beginning. To the woodcutters never. It's the same, the gold eggs was sown to the woodcutter as well, but even to the neighbor also the gold eggs was sown. So dear children, you can write the answers there. The first egg sown to the greedy neighbor by the water god was of gold. Now, without any delay, just we will be going for the last activities of our session for the evaluation of today's comprehension, that is fill in the blanks to make the sentence completed. So you can check it out in the slide to practice for noting down. The first sentence to be completed there is the woodcutter used to go to the forest for, is it for trees? Is it for grasses? Is it for other medicinal herbs? No, it's for firewood. The next one is there in number 2. This is the another sentence to be filled for completing. The greedy neighbor intentionally, what could be the word there? Dropped his axe into the river. Intentionally leaving the axe to the river. That is what we can write. The greedy neighbors intentionally dropped his axe into the river. So dear children, hope today you have got a lot regarding our story and regarding our comprehension exercise. Hopefully, the students will be practicing and completing these exercises, whatever we have done as our activities in the coming time after the class gets completed. And beside that, before wrapping up today's class, I just want to remind to all of our dear children about what are the activities that we completed today. The first activities was related to our picture discussion. We just has seen the picture and we try to imagine some of the sentences related to the picture. And beside that, we also went for the vocabulary sections where we practiced some of the words with their spellings, pronunciation and meaning, and even their use in the sentences. And after that, we also went for finding the summary of the story along with the reading practices that was related to the honest woodcutter. Then after, dear children, we completed 2 different activities, that was question answer sessions and fill in the blanks for finding our understanding level of today's class. So hope all the students got the lesson today, and hopefully the next time we'll be meeting together with the another different lessons of English. Till that time, have a nice day.